The SludgeBoss Float Switch is made for the most difficult applications where there's heavy-duty suspended solids, slurry, sludge, human waste, meat plants, places where the water is not clean and clear. And we have a few other float switches laid out just to show you here the physical size of the SludgeBoss. You can see that not only is it much larger, but it's also much heavier. So what separates it and makes it different? Well, outside of the weight and the physical size, inside of it, there's buoyant foam on one end and an iron core on the other. So if you consider when these things are in those kind of applications, what happens is over time, the switch becomes, for example, if it's in human waste, the switch literally becomes a giant ball of crap. And that ball of crap, once it's covered like that, you have to be able to rotate not only the switch itself, but also everything that's clung to it. Now, if you consider that the float switch always needs to operate around some point, on most other switches, you're going to need to have some sort of a tether point or someplace around which the float switch will operate. Now, it's pretty easy to get enough slime onto something this size with this much volume that it's not going to operate. And that's where the SludgeBoss comes in. It doesn't have that problem. Even fully laden with debris all around it, it can still rotate it. So outside of that, it's also unique in the sense that every 2368 part number that we sell is both normally open and normally closed. In addition, there's a lot of companies that separate their float switches in either pump duty or control duty. We use the SludgeBoss anywhere from 3.3 volts at about 20 milliamps all the way up to a full 8 amps at 240 volts. So it's a very versatile kind of single SKU solution that you can keep in your offering that allows it to fit into a lot of different applications. It's the 2368 product line is a 3-wire product line, meaning that it can do either normally open or normally closed applications. Probably one of the greatest features that people like about it is that if you're in an application that permits it, you don't need to go into the tank and you don't need to tether it. The SludgeBoss can simply hang in place, and when the water level comes up, it'll flip itself. And that's nice to not have to go into the tank and tether off a float if you have a rigid structure and if your float switches are spread out so much or the tank is made so that it's not going to catch on anything, or there's no risk of interfering with its operation. So it is designed for applications with high solid contact. Can you use it in water? Absolutely. The temperature ratings are 32 degrees to 140 degrees Fahrenheit, and that is because none of these float switches, if you put them in water and the water freezes, it's gonna jeopardize the casing on the float. So just about every float switch that you see of this kind of variety will do that. Also, all Sump alarm SludgeBoss float switches are made using the Honeywell micro switch inside. The Honeywell micro switch, the micro switch, inside of each one of these there's a ball or there's some mercury that basically rolls down, flips the switch and closes a contact, and that contact is the micro switch. Honeywell micro switches are tried, true, and proven. They've got amazing technical specs on them. So again, for the most difficult applications, we appreciate you looking at the SludgeBoss. Thank you.